get Epilepticus to be hearable by the people that are here in... I mean, we could hear him here in the booth. I don't know why you guys can't. Can you say something? Oh, Flu has a start. Did anyone hear what was at Link's house? I don't want people to put it in chat if they didn't hear Epilepticus. Because we need to hear the magical sounds of Epilepticus. We need to hear him on the screen. Mushroom showed up. Let's see what we get ourselves into here. We already get a play for us, the Hashula's Closet, which is interesting.
Yeah, Shroom at Lumberjack is going to be very interesting. Always a once removed.
Crowd can hear you now. Welcome back, Epilepticus. We had a little bit of a difficulty finding him, but
okay, here I am.
So there.
And that ended up tweaking something on my end, but that's neither here nor there. As we've got Frostbite heading into big money here in Blind. Well, hey. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Kane of Samaria is inside of the Blind's house here, and without any bombs, the Frostbite's not going to be able to check what is behind that bomb wall just yet. But 111 rupees means he's going to be able to perhaps get some real soon. So, what have you been up to, Epilepticus?
Just fixing my setup here. Been real excited to get back at this, and we've got... Looks like Jetter's going for bombs in the mini Moldorm.
Yeah, he's in significant trouble, though. Gets the Moldorm to get caught up at this moment. I think this would be the perfect time for him to maybe do a little bit of strike. And some of these over here having an absurd amount of trouble, though.
Yeah, he's got the extra bombs.
Yeah.
And making good on it.
The health is more of a concern at this point. We get flippers at the back of the tavern. We're gonna find out what's behind that bomb wall. Nice job from from Jetters in order to get through all of that.
Just a little bit of love in the back of Blind's hut.
Jetters found the Moon Pearl already.
Yeah.
You know, normally in open mode, you have a divergence of routes, but it's not usually with somebody going all the way to the back three of Zaha's Closet, and then over to Mini Moldorm, and heading over towards the Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, just deciding to take it to the east, I guess. And I'll tell you what, for that Moon Pearl, it's a real good thing he didn't end up taking the death, because who knows when he would have decided to come back down.
Just has to be a little bit careful with the crabs who gets around them. Gets inside of the Ice Rod Cave as we see everybody else wrapping up with the Kakariko Village checks. Ice Rod Cave only has 10 arrows. So, what's your thoughts on where the next step in the progression chain is going to be? Because the Moon Pearl is nice, but we still need some extra work to get ourselves to the Dark World.
Yeah, well, with those flippers early, you're definitely going to see these guys head north to the waterfall, even if they don't go to Mini Moldorm first. I'm pretty sure each of these or each of these runners is capable of the fake flipper. And if you've got that Moon Pearl, you can water walk, but why set it up if you don't need it?
Well, that's what we see Jetter's doing right now with the or with the fake flippers. As we do see the sword inside of the chicken coop, Zero Rush just picks that up, and Koi is going to be picking that up right now. And Frostbite's heading to the waterfall right now. We're going to see what is inside there. As we also see what the hobo has. We had our first map check on Zero Rush. I didn't really see what we have. Boomerang, we have a shovel, we have a piece of heart. Boomerang was a hobo, shovel at waterfall.
Dementive helping out in chat. While we're watching the runners kind of run over the same tracks. Oh, was that lamp on the ledge? I think it was.
Well, that's an interesting place to put that. Now, that's something that Jetters is not going to be able to pick up right now. It's nice to know that it's going to be there. Just see 20 rupees inside of the library. Zero Rush checking that, Koi checking that as well. And Jetter's going to have to be just a little careful, because the one big difference with Frostbite and Jetters is that Jetters is in the fake flipper position as opposed to Frostbite.
Yeah, that's correct. If you take the hit, and actually, getting that heart container, that's going to pop him out, isn't it? Or no, because he starts with the walk. Okay.
Well, the thing is that if you get the heart piece that fills up your life, you just have to leave and come back in and you'll be fine. Now, Jetters does see the lamp, is unable to purchase what is at Zora at this stage, but does know that the lamp is going to be there, so we'll probably route that in particular ways. As next up for Jetters, I'm wondering where Jetters is going to go from here.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not familiar enough with his running.
Okay, he's going to the portal here, and he's heading towards Kakariko Village.
Oh, wow.
Nice view to the portal, yeah.
Yeah, you don't normally see it, but gotta give a guy props when he knows the trick.
And that's the portal that you normally see with no major glitches, because that's the one that the people do fake flippers to go into the portal when they want to go to Tower of Hera after Desert. So that's something you don't normally see in Randomizer, but you definitely need to know that portal for no major glitches.
Frostbite leaving behind the race game. I don't know if we saw anybody else check it
20.
earlier. Yeah.
It's a 20, so there's nothing that we're missing at this point. Koi checking the hobo gets the red boomerang as Frostbite checks the dam at this point. Zero Rush is going to be checking the island as well as the other water checks at this point. That's a single arrow that's on high of the island, so we know nobody's going to be picking that up.
Yeah, you'd have to be pretty desperate to go all the way there.
Now, Jetters is not checked the sanctuary, so he is going through here without the flute. So he's going to be at a routing disadvantage at this point because of all the walking he's doing as opposed to the other three runners with the flute that's going to be able to do some flying.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's going to really just add up over time, and it seems like he's not really willing to take the save and quit at any point. Meanwhile, we're finally getting somebody up to the mountain with Zero Rush, going in without the lamp.
Absolutely. So he's going to be able to check. Now, Zero Rush does not know it, but it is not that far off in the logic chain. I do also want to point out that there is something that is in logic at this point that might be needed as Frostbite leaves the NPC. If not really happy with what he found in the mini Moldorm Cave, but there is one check that is in logic, or one location that is going to be in logic if they want to get to the Dark World.
It's true, they may have to climb the tower.
Yeah, that is within logic at this point because we do have the sword, we do have the cape, and we do have the Moon Pearl that has been found. Only Jetters has it, but it's easily accessible.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier, I'm not sure how comfortable Jetters is in the dark. I'm not familiar enough with his running, but that may end up being a second stymie, depending on how soon he decides to get back up there. So we found out from a hint through Zero that the purple chest just has money, so anybody who checks that will be glad to not take that roundabout check. Jetters with the chicken clip. Part of your balanced breakfast as he gets a sword.
Yep, and pretty soon he will have the flippers, which will put that lamp in the logic. Question mark as to when Jetters will go back to get that. Probably will wait until he has another 203 rupees in order to make it more sensical to do so. There's the Moon Pearl for Frostbite, so he's the first of the runners to actually have the Aga play to be in logic.
Yeah, he's got the complete set, the only one of our runners with the lamp. I think one of the others saw it up there. I guess it was Jetters. Meanwhile, Zero Rush taking the dive into what some would call the fourth pendant dungeon. Starting out with Zero doing, while Frostbite goes up to a, well, I think it's a crystal this time, but an otherwise proper pendant dungeon.
At this point, Frostbite is checking Eastern Palace, which is going to be possibly 2, if not 3 items that you can pull out of here. Depends on whether or not the Armos at the end has an item. Koi checking out the Hyrule Castle, which right now Zero Rush is not getting anything of interest. Just some pieces of hearts.
Yeah. Earn that extra heart. And if they're in the chest, you can't turn them down, so oh well.
So as of now, the only reason why this seed is giving us the flippers is to get the lamp. Now, why is it giving us the lamp is a very good question. And that's something that some of the more veteran runners are doing at this point. They're questioning, why does the seed want me to have this item? And that's going to be some of the routes that you see these runners take into play as we move along here. Zero Rush is setting himself up for a death warp after he gets this big key. Hopefully this isn't a fairy in a bottle or a jar that contains a full heart container, but thankfully this time it did not complete a heart container.
Yeah, he actually managed to get that in the, well, the first boomerang chest, I guess you'd call it, in right before that, so it was perfect timing.
Now, the other thing here is what is going to be of this mushroom that is at the lumberjack that Jetters just found out about. Because we are going to only be boots away from being able to fully pull that in logic. As we see Koi setting himself up the same way that we saw from Zero Rush. It's going to be a dark room path here. Koi didn't really take the death here, so yeah, he just completed a heart container too. Jetter's playing the chess money game here and comes up with a single rupee.
I guess he wants to make the trip back up to Zora, I guess.
This would probably be a good time.
The slightest bit of trouble making to the back here. Gets a full
he gets
heart
a heart container. Yep. So that means that the back three items that are going to be out in the back, one of them is going to be a key. And did we see the map at all? Also being told that there is a unique item hint in Turtle Rocket. There is a sword upgrade for Frostbite that gives him the Master Sword.
Yeah, the Eastern Palace hint was the unique item in Turtle Rock. We'll have to see what that ends up being, pendant or crystal-wise. If it's crystal-wise, it'll almost certainly end up on everyone's radar. If it's pendant, may end up being a turning point for some of these runners to decide whether or not to head in and when.
And you know the interesting thing here with what is going on with Frostbite, he's making this pretty much his last play. So you have to believe that Frostbite is going to be making the play up to Aga if he finds nothing, which he's going to find nothing on this path. We have not found anything else that avoids this play as of now.
The only thing we could have had here, but I think somebody already checked it, would have been like mitts or glove and hammer. And that would have just been just the hugest debate. But sure enough, we're pretty much out of checks. I think literally completely out of checks. Besides, well, Rush didn't make it all the way to the back, did he?
Zero
Of
Rush.
the castle?
Yeah, he was stopped at Dark Cross because he does not have the keys. The key's
Oh,
going to be
right,
in one
yeah.
of the 3
Okay.
chests.
Yeah, and so
I
that's going
believe
to be
we have not
loss
seen
required.
them, and I don't believe we've seen the map either. So there's
Oh, goodness.
likely us going to see a key, a map, and 1 item, which really makes it less entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think Jetters is now making his way over and wants to do the whole visit Aghanim play as well. So I think we're going to be seeing these runners make their way up to Aga's Tower in due time. There's a bloomerang right there, and Koi's going to be going in to get his hint about some... what was this hint here? This was... I forget what this hint was about.
In Eastern? Or in Spectacle?
No, Koi at Spectacle Rock, yeah.
I think it's money in the box.
Oh, right, the cash in the purple chest, that's right.
Yeah.
See, we in commentary here forget to write these things down, so therefore we ask those questions.
It's all good. If you write down one half and I get the other, we'll be set. Yeah, now just seeing everybody kind of walk where everybody's already gone. Jetter's finally caught up in terms of the mobility and the definite logic points.
This is a seed that's forcing these guys into what we would call a bottleneck.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, the classic bottleneck for an open seed.
It wouldn't be linked to the past randomizer without that kind of scenario where you have a last check scenario. Now, there is a way that you can avoid if you want to make a gamble and steal the key from the guard, the blue guard at the first door.
Oh, it's true.
But none of these runners ended up doing so they could go check out the back 3 of Escape.
Yeah.
But at this
with the count you gave earlier, though, that would only be a losing battle. There wouldn't be enough items left to make it work, I think.
The only way that it would work at this point is if it gave, like, the book that got you 2 items in Desert plus...
Oh, that's true, yeah. I was thinking only of Dark World access. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it would have to be. If Frostbite's going to be forcing himself into a death warp at this point because he's going Aghanim. There's nothing else for him to do. We know that this seed is forcing Aghanim at this point.
Yeah, none of these particular runners willing to jump right to it when they had the otherwise minimum requisite kit.
Well, that's the thing is, you know, you really don't want to be spending 3 minutes going up the tower plus however long it takes to face off against Aghanim. Now, you get a hint on the way up, but there's no guarantee that this is going to be a good hit, as Jetter now does the bombs to kill himself. It's just, this could be a time sink if you swing and miss.
Yep.
And Daniel Alberson here making a comment, but we've already seen a Gina from at least one runner, and it did not turn out to be anything important. So we're pretty much out of options.
Yeah, the interesting thing here, we got Jetters is doing his runs at the castle and hasn't been over to Eastern yet. Every other runner is going to end up with the Master Sword through this, and once again, he's going to end up hampered, losing a little bit of firepower if he goes straight up there.
Hey, Epipleticus. Epipleticus, do you see what's going on with Zero Rush?
Oh, yeah, gonna get a Zora check. How about it?
He's going to be the only one of these 4 runners on screen that is actually going to be able to purchase the Zora item. Has enough rupees exactly to pull off this item. Now, what if this was the glove to get you in the back 3 of Escape and there's a hook shot over there?
Well, that would certainly be something, but I have a feeling Zero's going to be up a couple of bombs and down a bunch of rupees. Oh no, just rupees.
20 rupees is the reward for that. A unique item is in the sanctuary. Thank you, game. You're so helpful.
But I guess he might have seen, I think he saw the lamp earlier too, so, you know, just as well. If you don't have the fire rod, getting up Dark Aga Tower, one of the tougher sets with the pit maze that's in there. But we can be sure now that Zero Rush is gonna, cash in a shovel, I guess.
Yeah, which we know is only going to be 5 rupees.
Yeah.
So as Frostbite is now making his way up to the 6th floor.
Yeah.
As Frostbite makes his way up the 6th floor, we do like to play a game around here, and that is inquiring how many blue balls you think Frostbite is going to have to endure from our friend Aghanim. You know, if you have a perfect fight against him, he's going to throw you 0, and you're going to hit him with 6 orbs at him. However, that's not going to be the case every single time. So, how many blue balls you think Frostbite, and all of these runners for that matter, are going to have to deal with?
Yeah, one number gets you 4 chances to win, as the RNG is set.
Yes, it is. So, what do you think the answer is going to be?
Let's go with 3. And we're on
well, there's one right there. And we're getting a Serenade from Frostbite as well. Koi now has 509 rupees and is going to be making the Zora play, as Jetters is going to be the second of these runners to be making the Aghanim play. But has the Fighter Sword, did not pull out the Master Sword out of Eastern, so going to slow him down just a little bit against these ball and chain guards. That was a very solid fight for everything, all things considering.
Yeah. Putting it to work. Able to push through. I think just 1?
Yeah, Aghanim is down for Frostbite, and that was a pretty solid fight.
Yeah.
I think that was just one single blue ball. Let's get ourselves a map check, or not. As Frostbite goes and sees what is on the Pyramid Ledge. The Pyramid Ledge! Is that another sword upgrade?
Survey says.
Yeah, that is. That's the Tempered Sword.
Well, these guys are all going to feel like this was worth it. If you get a free Tempered Sword on the back of this, or the Master Sword for Jetters, we'll end up with the Tempered for free, but yeah. Meanwhile, heading straight east in the Dark World, Koi deciding he's going to check Zora even before Aghanim, just in case, once that lamp that's up on the ledge.
Yeah, if you have to go make that path up to Aghanim and you don't have the fire rod and you're not very good at doing a dark Aghanim, you want to have that lamp. So this turn made perfect sense for Koi. He gets you 2 checks out of the way, as he will be the 4th of our runners to go and make himself up to the Aga's Tower. Now, Zero Rush is going to have an issue coming up in about maybe 3 minutes from now. Same thing with Koi, and actually the same thing with Jetters.
Yeah, I mean,
they do not have enough rupees for. Yeah, they don't have enough rupees for our dear friend Kiki the monkey.
Yeah, let that be a lesson to you. Skip Zora, kids. Frostbite, the only one who got away with that, having pushed through the beginning of the seed in a certain order to get that lamp without a second trip, or a delayed trip. I forget if everybody went up there twice. But we're in Palace of Darkness now without a mirror, and it just makes it, I don't know, 20-30% less fun.
And that is right. Now, the one thing I do notice, and you can hear the music in Frostbite's stream here, we have pendant music.
It's true.
We don't know if this is the green pendant. We did not get a map check, but we do know that Palace of Darkness is going to be one of our pendants.
There's the hammer in pod.
Yeah, there's the hammer, and that is going to force everybody into the Palace of Darkness. Now, that does open up some stuff. That does open up Hype Cave. It also opens up some other options out there on that clockwise tour across the Dark World up into the digging game. But without a glove, it does not open up any dungeons.
Yeah, it's true. They're at least not well, no, because we still don't have a mirror. Never mind. But yeah, that hammer actually an incredibly welcome find though, because at least you can go places in the Dark World now. Frostbite going over to Pod because it was basically the only check that had what, more than one thing in it.
So we're going to have to see what else we find. It does turn out that the big key is going to be vanilla, but that is going to be as much as what Frostbite can do. Now,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like it's much, but that does open up 5 items in Hype Cave. It opens up the Stumpy. It also opens up the digging game. So that's 7 items that are made available by way of getting that hammer.
Yeah, and it seems like we're gonna get a good old-fashioned hype cave, at least statistically. Either that or gloves of catfish. We'll see how.
You can't even get the catfish right now.
Oh, it's true. You gotta have some lift.
Yep, you gotta be able to lift in order to get the catfish.
Yeah. Huh.
So this is a forced direction seat at this point. You have to go into hype. You have to go into the Palace of Darkness to get the hammer. And then what after you get after that, who knows? But we're going to find out the next answer to this problem coming up in just a moment. There's our map check. So green pendant is the Ice Palace. It's going to be red pendant at Swamp. And the other 5-6 crystal is Misery Mire.
Yeah.
How miserable.
I missed what the other pendant was, unless it was in the light world.
We already know that the other pendant was going to be the Palace of Darkness because of the music.
Yeah, right. Good call. And here we go.
So there's 20 rupees there from the NPC. Now time for the 4. See what we can get from these 4. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's the boots. Let's open up one more check. Actually opens up 2 more checks.
Yeah.
It opens 2 more checks. You're right. The mushroom.
Yeah, we got the mushroom there up in the lumberjack tree. With the agave required anyhow.
Jetters is in the dark world, but does realize his follies at this point. He is now currently, what is that? That is 58 rupees short of his goal, as he's going to be trying to kill these enemies ad nauseum in order to try to get his money.
Yep, the first of our rupee farmers to get to work. Looks like Zero's going to be right behind, and then Koi into his Agaphyte now. Gosh,
now,
and the way this is heading too, they're going to have to go get 80 rupees for dig, right?
That is a possibility. We'll see what Frostbite... Oh, it's just a piece of heart, so the boots are going to have the next stage.
Yeah, if they skip dig, it'll pay off, but I just have a feeling we're going to see a second round of rupee farming from at least one of these 3. And how terrible.
Koi's the final of these runners to be facing off against Agnum. Now, based on what I'm seeing...
he ended up not getting Master Sword, too. Huh.
Yeah, that's right, because the second sword upgrade was in Eastern, and he opted not to go and do that. Now, Frostbite's going to check the Bonk Rocks powder, which is in logic.
We have the hammer. Oh man, this is a good seed.
I have a feeling Magic Bat's going to have something important at this point.
Statistically, I think it might have to. I'm not sure. It's been a while.
Good use from Zero Rush using the tree pull mechanics in order to get the 20 rupees the pull. So there we go.
That's a big help.
There is the mushroom pickup, and there's the Master Sword pickup for Koi. So we got 3 of our streamers here are going to be doing a whole lot of farming. I'm going to guess, I did not see the stun prize at Athleticus, but I'm going to guess that the stun prize pack was not anything great because, well, they're not using the boomerang to stun the enemies.
Yeah, I think it mustn't have been. I can't say I've seen it though. But yeah, Zero Rush finding a more efficient strategy here. It's really gonna pay off as he's pulled clear ahead. Well, actually, I guess now he's about neck and neck with Jetters, having made up a ton of time there. And it's a hook shot from our bat. A grappling hook, if you will.
And that opens up all of Death Mountain plus the Tower of Hera. That is huge. And this is all because Frostbite did not make the Zora purchase. Everybody else is farming for rupees. There's Jetters. Don't get hit. You need 100 rupees to get into this. Oh, now he's got some security. Zero Rush, don't get hit. You have 112 rupees, and Koi is farming at the house now, or Blind's house.
Yep.
Your first commentary back in a long time, Epipleticus, and we got hot rupee farming action.
Oh yeah. This is what I missed.
Did you miss the dead rocks at all?
Not really. But no, I mean, really, hats off to Zero for thinking of the poll. It was a way to get those rupees locally, where Koi has to do a little bit of work to kind of get back over there now that they've hit their threshold. But we see Frostbite ready to go.
How many holes did we see Jetters dig in order to get the rupees that he had finally needed to get into the Palace of Darkness? Here we go!
At least enough to make a movie franchise out of, but...
Oh, I know.
Alright, big money.
Now you're gonna give him the money.
Yeah, right?
Now you're gonna give him the money.
Yeah. Yeah, it's less salty for Frostbite, who has been fine rupee-wise, but I'm sure the humor won't be lost on the rest of these runners.
Another 50, another 20, so 70 rupees. Let's see what else. There's 3 more bombs, and hey,
and
there's
bottle.
Bottles.
That does open up one check back in Kakariko Village. I'm gonna have to go talk to our sick kid at some point.
And he very well could have something, because we've been seeing how this whole entire chain of items, and we have not turned in that mushroom just yet. Now, Jetters is going to do something that is legal to do in SRL races at this point, which is a mimic clip. It's not legal if you're trying to do it in things like the SG Live qualifiers, but for now, this is considered to be legal, and he pulls them out. So he's going to have advanced knowledge because of that, and I think Zero Rush has just spent his keys in a different way in order to get some access somewhere else here in this Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, looks like they both taken some interesting paths. Plenty of keys to be had, because, well, that's Palace of Darkness for you.
I missed exactly what Frostbite just picked up here.
That was his big key.
Okay, so a compass needs fire in the Tower of Hera, which is really
a great spot for that hint.
Yeah, absolutely. So now he knows he doesn't have to worry about going downstairs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you figure it out by the time you finish the top of the dungeon, but just nice to know ahead of time. Blood pressure down 1-2 points.
No need for the
Nice
coffee break.
shot. I'm always a big fan anytime somebody uses that hook shot in the as a movement item, but apart from crossing a gap.
Ooh, Zero Rush tried to do the hammer jump and ended up missing out of it. Fire Rod is in western wing of Swamp Palace. Pendant Swamp. Ew.
Oh,
and there's
gross.
the silvers.
Yeah, and that fire rod absolutely double required here. We got Skullwoods and Turtle Rock on our way to Ganon. Not to mention the possibility of it being required for Ganon's tower itself. But yeah, a big old trip to left side swamp. Frostbite with the old 1-2. Jetter's gonna go for... Oh, no, skipping the jump. Never mind.
And heart container, and that sanctuary heart that Frostbite just picked up as it replenishes all of his life. Zero Rush is going to be going into the portal now, and he will be getting his boots in about a minute and a half.
Is that technically a time save? Getting Sankheart on the bus?
Just a little bit, because you don't have to wait for the fill up at the end. Now, Frostbite, did he do Spike Cave yet? Not Spike Cave, but Spiral Cave.
No, I guess he didn't. Probably was planning to route it in here.
And here goes Koi, about to go and get the boots as well in just a moment. Zero Rush making note of where his dungeons are, and Jedders is in a back area of this Palace of Darkness, trying to set himself up for a death, but it does take a little bit of a while to get these Dodongos to cooperate. Down to 2 hearts, bottom right chest. Oh, that would have been absolutely devastating if that was to replenish a heart container.
That would have been something.
Here's the sick kid check for Frostbite, and it's just a heart container. So that's not a trail. I was thinking it was a trail just because of where that first bottle showed up. But
yeah, I mean, when you get them late, you're kind of predisposed to think, oh boy, it's going to be something good. But here goes our mushroom churning. Maybe this had been it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and find out here, because this was the other prize for killing off with Aghanim. The sword upgrade on the pyramid was very nice, but inside the potion shop for the mushroom is
just big money.
Some spending dough.
Let's see, what do we got that we haven't done yet? Pardon me, forgetting.
Well, at this point, that hookshot is huge, because you remember that even though the hookshot is needed in order to get to the right side of Death Mountain, it also can be used to getting yourself over towards the western end of the Dark World. And because we got the hammer now, we do have, and also because we have the flippers as well, we have ways of getting to where we need the hookshot.
It's true. Here we go.
Frostbite, you do not have a lift upgrade, and we have ourselves the arrow game, trying to get ourselves the 80 rupees needed in order to play the digging game.
All right, you know what?
There's 8, there's 16.
I was only kidding earlier about rupee farming, but getting to see Koi play the arrow game, totally worth.
64 rupees for Koi.
Yeah.
Big winner, big prizes.
I love it.
This isn't Smash TV. That is 50 rupees there, the bumper cave. Frostbite's gonna say no.
And question in chat, if Agino was checked, it was, I believe it was bombs, but it was non-progress either way.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that was required to beat this seed. Now, Frostbite here is heading into Skull Woods. He knows that the fire rod is in the western wing of Swamp Palace, but maybe he could find the mirror here that gets him to that fire rod.
Yeah, having the cane here helps speed this up, and these chests all have no gate on them. Like, once you're able to walk into this dungeon, you can get all of them, basically. So, good on
By the way, Jedders just got a very important piece of information by going into the Swamp Palace and checking that intel.
And what was that?
He now knows that the small key and the big key to Misery Mire are fire locked.
Ooh.
So they're on that west wing of Misery Mire.
That might save him some time.
It might if he gets into go mode with Misery Mire, but we'll see. As now Zero Rush is about to go claim his hook shot in just a moment. Probably we'll see Koi doing the same thing in just a moment. Jedders has not tested those boots on the Bonk Rocks just yet. And Chloe Prower is correct in saying in chat that the big key is in the cutscene chest. That is a 100% guarantee because of the key logic regarding Misery Mire.
Oh, interesting. So it's vanilla location, if I remember.
That is correct. It is guaranteed to be vanilla in that case because you can take that small key and misuse it and lock yourself out of getting the big key location if that was the case.
Yeah, and in Misery Mire of all places, you'd have to you'd really have to go out of your way for that one.
Yeah, but here we go. More rupee farming.
Oh man.
Here we go. 4. And then another 8. That's 12.
16?
There's another 16.
32?
Here we go, another 64.
Hey.
There's a 64. We've got 2 runners going 5 for 5. Jetters once more.
Yeah.
There's the hook shot for Koi.
Oh, misses one.
I'm totally disappointed now.
That's alright. We got to see the archery guy hit his drum. And I'll admit I was distracted on that first chest from Thieves Town.
I think it was just a compass.
And there's the book.
There's the book. Oh boy. That does open up the easy tablet, which we already have seen. It opens up the entrance to desert. That's an interesting place to find that.
Yeah, again, available for free here in the front of a crystal dungeon. Should be able to finish this off just fine. Having the hammer in Thieves Town, always nice. We got 2 of our items now.
By the way, I do like the fact that we have 4 different playing sprites for these 4 runners.
Oh, yeah.
Granted, I don't know what half of these things are, but I do recognize that thing in the bottom left. I think his name is... It's Lunk, is it?
Lunk, yeah. He's the hero of Tim. It's gonna be kind of funny when Koi gets to Thieves Town later. He'll be escorting himself around, in a way. And then we've got Jetters playing Elmagus, not the runner, but the boss from Chrono Trigger, and Plague Knight from Shovel Knight for Frostbite. Yeah, I mean, he's the Magus. Magus, I don't know. That was before voiceover, so he's just whatever you call him.
That guy.
A unique item in plain sight.
Is indeed in plain sight. We do know that the boomerang was in plain sight, but it does not mean that that's a guarantee. It also means it could be that single arrow that is on Hylia Island, because that is considered a unique item. And why is that a unique item?
Well, because there's only one of them, and it's not the type that's in the drop pack. So they had to go in special and put that into the mirror.
Now we have access to that fire rod. So let's take some inventory here, Epileticus. What are we missing?
Taking care of that. No, let's see. We're going to need that classic ice rod. 1 or 2 medallions.
That is correct.
Some gloves would be nice.
Yeah, we definitely need the Titan's mitt.
And the bow.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You see, I'm testing you since this is your first commentary back in such a long time.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure you're still on the ball with this after all this time.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised Koi didn't opt to do a swinging strat on these beetles in this first room, or whatever, the orbs, whatever these things are called, because if you swing them with the Master Sword and you do it, you could hit the one that comes towards you from the right and the one that's on the left. That will kill both of those, because you need Tempered Sword or a Master Sword swing in order to kill them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was probably just thinking, ooh, hammer. I'm thinking of that Tempered Sword damage, but that hitbox, though.
Oh! You know that chest that Frostbite never opened up in Spiral Cave? It turned out to be a mail upgrade.
Oh. Yeah, I guess he did end up skipping that. I kind of dropped that one out of the back of my head.
So Quay about to finish off with his Moldorm fight. Gets batted around by him just a little bit. does a swing and a miss at this point, but that was more of a defensive mechanic here. Let's see how Frostbite does with his blind fight. Very vanilla if you can hold to a script.
So far, so good.
There's stage 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. As Koi finishes off with Bold Worm, will pick up his Sanctuary Heart, and Frostbite picks up his map.
Oh no. Jetter's wanting to return the old man. Having some rodent issues.
And Zero Rush now going to take his newly found way from one side to the other side of the Dark World. So he'll be joining Frostbite on this side of the world in just a few moments. So even if we do not find a lift upgrade, I think the next major spot...
Oh,
hey, there's one!
Alright.
I was going to say, I think our major stopping point is going to be to go to that known fire rod location in Swamp Palace, because you never know. How many items did we find in Skull Woods? Was it 1 or 2? I know we did find the blue rupee, so that
was the one I saw too. I'm kind of blanking. But either way, you know you need that crystal, and that trip back there doesn't really lead to anything else. Probably varies on who you ask, but I kind of figure you may as well get that out of the way. But yeah, likewise, Zero Rush heading to Skull Woods now.
Now, that mirror does open up this spot here. It's known as Cave 45 because of the map coding number that calls us Cave 45. There's a red rupee there, so nothing good there, but there's going to be another mirror spot that Frostbite's going to be checking probably before he ventures into Swamp. It also deals with that book that he had picked up.
Yep, we're going to see him check that Bombos tablet. And he's going to remember he has the glove and take a slightly shorter route. So good to have that glove, finally.
Also, kudos to Frostbite for remembering the fact that he didn't have the glove in that Thieves' Town, because your muscle memory can do some tricks on you when you get to that rock on the basement and be like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, we did get to see him do the otherwise pretty rare enemy clear in that room.
And there's Mitt at the Bombos! Oh!
Man, just beelining. So we know where Fire Rod is, and we're down to Medallions, Ice Rod, and Bow. Well, this is great, and now the world is pretty much one's oyster. Because we've got Dark Death Mountain access with him having those Titan's mitts now. I wonder how many of our other runners, once they clear through Thieves' Town, will take that mirror straight out to that tablet, because that was book and mirror in Thieves' Town.
Yeah, that seed really wanted you to learn about that Bombos location, so it just really depends on how many people just keep following the chain, and there's going to be the hint for Frostbite telling him where the keys are going to be inside of Misery Mire. Now, once he gets this fire rod, it does open up another location to Frostbite where he can go. It's another pendant dungeon, and you don't want to really go in there, but who knows? Maybe the bow's there.
Yeah, they may have to make that trip into Ice Palace. Now that he has the mitts, that is squarely on the radar. Because previously, having just that fire rod knowledge, couldn't even get in the front door yet, so now we're all the way through the foyer.
The other question is where is going to be the remaining portions of this logic chain, as Jedders gets the hint about the fire rod being inside of Swamp. As Koi picks up the big key inside of Skull Woods, Frostbite really is in a league of his own compared to the other runners. And why was that, Epileptica?
Well, he ended up making the right play timing-wise up to Zora to get that lamp, really, I think was the first big difference. These guys all ended up, since they were going to go back up for the lamp to go up Aga, they were like, well, may as well check Zora. And, I mean, solid play, right? But it just happened this time that Zora was a scam, and there was a way to do this opening to just completely eliminate the need to bother with it. You had all the pieces you needed before you would even think about spending the 500 rupees.
And that's a big thing right there, is because of the fact that we saw 3 of these runners on the screen having to farm for the rupees in order to
to get
get into the palace. Yeah, to get into the Palace of Darkness. They were short of the 110. Oh my goodness! I have not seen so much rupee farming in a stream since the day I had to go into that little cave in desert and have to go in there like 80 times in order to pull out blue rupees.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah, given that rupees are freely available, they're not in the logic, as it were. Yeah, Frostbite just making the rounds out to his left side swamp now. We'll see how much further he wants to go. You're all the way back here, and it's not a trivial trip back to Argus, but it's also not a non-trivial trip back in. So I guess we'll see.
And I think it really depends at this point. How many items has Frostbite pulled up? We know that there was a map inside of the first chest. So there are still some items to be found. The other question that comes into play at this point is, does Frostbite think that the chain... Ooh, that's the ice rod! That's the ice rod!
That's too good. That is just too good.
Fire rod and ice rod are in the west wing of Swamp!
Oh man.
We did not set this seed up for your return here, Epipoliticus.
Yeah, no.
We did not, but this has been a crazy, crazy seed.
Of all the places that Ice Rod could have been, that would have been the last one I would have guessed. Of course it's right there and you're going to check it, but yeah.
And he is going to continue with this path.
Yeah, who knows? He might get Bow and the medallions and, I don't know, Chain Burna. Yeah. Are there enough chests left for all that?
I'm surprised here, because what I was thinking Frostbite might do is, after he had gotten the known fire rod out of this, he was going to make his way maybe over to Misery Mire, see what the medallion is, maybe pop into Desert, finish that off, go into finish off Skull, and there's a lot of options here on the table for Frostbite, but maybe he might get lucky with something else here. Well, those bombs aren't lucky.
Yeah. And Telling in chat calling for what would be a reasonable and chat-satisfying play. Go clear Skull Woods and let us know what is on that pedestal. Because, who knows, we may just see the Archer class.
It's not going to be on the pedestal. Palace of Darkness being a pendant.
Oh, it's true, yeah.
But it can be one of the 3 medallions. Burn, baby, burn,
sure
the Ring of Fire. This magic coin freezes everything, or maxing out the Richter scale. Well, we're being told the Bombos is on Desert Ledge.
Thank you to one of our trackers, Wild Hannah.
So much happening here. So Frostbite here is either going to get the 6th item here, or he's going to be getting the big key. And the 6th item is going to be in the big key chest. Or in the big... That's spicy ice rod action there from Frostbite. Gets the 10-pack of bombs. That's item number 6. So, if there's anything in the pedestal, that helps. But I think the play here is just to leave after you get the fire rod. We'll see. Yes, mind of me, you rolled a beautiful seed here, an Aga-required seed. At a chain reaction, the head runners going into the Palace of Darkness, 3 of them trying to farm rupees in order to make the purchase into the Palace of Darkness, pay off Kiki the Monkey and various other tragedies instilled upon us. And, yeah. Interesting seed indeed. We just got the Fire Rod, Ice Rod side by side in Swamp Palace. What was the medallion we needed to get into Mire?
Oh, I wasn't able to read it. Of all the places for the artifacting to show up. But again, our track
Bombos.
coming in. Yep. You got a B.
There's bottle 2,
B's.
bottle 3. Double B's.
Yeah, well, I guess the way this seed is going, it's gonna be...
That's a BB gun.
Yeah. It's gonna be the same medallion for both, but it's gonna be somewhere silly.
Frostbite is making the decision to go in. He can clear this out, and he does know where the big key is going to be. He's going to have to go the long way over. This could be something that pays off. Who knows?
Yeah, it's an interesting go. You're right here, so I mean, I'm trying to think that that knowledge of, well, actually, maybe did he get the mire hint? I guess he did. It was in Swamp.
Yes, he did. He checked that first thing after he went inside of Swamp Palace.
Yeah, because like you said, like that info is especially good in Go mode. So we'll see if that ends up coming up for any of the other runners.
Ooh, this is not a beautiful Mire Room 1, and he knows it. There's the flashing of the sword. And Frostbite's execution is decent enough, and probably a couple salty... himself. Yeah, probably a couple of salty bonks into the wall as well. Because Frostbite's execution is good enough to the point that he should be able to at least two-cycle the Mire first room.
Hey, that's alright. Hopefully he shakes it off and gets right back on the horse, as it were.
That is the toughest thing about this game, is when something happens to you, how long does it take before you get yourself back together and allow yourself to cool your jets? Koi's checking something we haven't seen yet. That is going to be the Graveyard Ledge into Queen's Tomb.
Well, oh yeah, with the mirror we'll be able to sneak in. Yeah. Oh, just bombs there.
That's right, and yeah, because Koi has the mirror, he's going to be able to go in there, and that is completely in logic. As far as Koi knows, we do of course know where the bits are, so least the concerns here for Koi, but this is the way Koi wants to check things out. And Frostbite knows that the big key, small key path here in Mire. There's the glove pickup for Jetters. Koi about to find... Oh no! Big key was in that compass room, so that means small key was in. So the key layout here of the Misery Mire is going to be made out in a particular way. I don't think that means Vitreous can have a key at this point.
Yeah, I should think not. And either way, you know, skipping that cutscene chest because there's a billion keys on the ground in Mire, so even if somehow he did end up in a bind, the real trick is just pick up every skull. You'll find one. Yeah, and
this is a case where I've been proven wrong. You know, I've always been told under the premise that if the small key was in the compass room, it was guaranteed to have a big key in the big key location. There's the heart container for Frostbite. Let's go ahead and see what's in this chest. Red Ruby. That's it for the items off to Vitreous.
Yep, and let's see. We finally got somebody up the catfish by way of.
It's a unique item, and by way of the bug catching net. So if somebody gets a unique item on a grumpy fish,
yeah, they may end up slightly diverted.
Yep.
Let's see, 3 hearts, a blue potion. The only item you really would want to have with the rest of his kit right now, simply because silver's his bow. But who knows where that's going to end up. We're heading to the back of Escape as well. I don't think anybody's been there yet.
That's right, because there's going to be one item back here. Now, you see what Frostbite did is he dashed as he laid down the Samaria block, so that should be setting him up to do spooky action. And he got it. And it's just a heart piece in the back, 3 of escape. So there's the first of the spooky actions. Now he's going to come into this room, and he's going to hit the fire rod off one of the anti-fairies. That lowers down the blocks as well. He's going to do it one more time in this room, and there he goes.
Very nicely done.
Now, one problem with this is the fact that he's down to 3 hearts. He does have the powder, which is going to allow him to get this fairy, but it is going to limit the amount of usage that he can have out of this cape. So let's see how he pulls this one off.
Yeah. We'll see if he opts for the potion.
I think it's going to be a case where if he ends up getting a lot of damage done to him, he's going to go
yeah,
through
nice, fine, yeah.
Beautiful
big old
fight so
spins.
far.
Yeah.
By the way, Koi is going to be checking out this ether tallow, which nobody has checked just yet because Frostbite had no reason to get back up here. And that's half magic.
Right. It's not bad. Yeah, great fight from Frostbite there.
So there's Frostbite done with Misery Mire. It's going to go into Desert next. And after that, I would have to reckon that Frostbite goes up the mountain. And the reason I believe that is because he's got the Dark World stuff. He's got the Hookshot Cave, he's got the Super Bunny, but more importantly, what is the medallion to get into Turtle Rock? He may already have it by way of Bombos, and then we're just a bow away from go mode.
Ooh, Koi investing into Spike Cave then, paying off in bombs.
Titans-Mid pickup for Zero Rush. He is going to go in towards Misery Mire as well.
Solid play, pretty much the way you want to go. Alright, Jokin, and one of our items out of the way in Desert already on the torch.
Well, earlier in this seed, we needed all the rupees we could get, but now with the 1,024, I do not think we need 20 more rupees. So, for those of you who haven't been tuning into the seed, you're just getting here an hour in. We had an Aga 1 require seed that had you pulling out the hammer out of the Palace of Darkness in that lobby room. There's the map for Frostbite. One item remains. Is it on Lamolus or is it going to be in the big chest? Frostbite is going to go and check the Lamolus first.
Yeah, smart play. I mean, it's basically about the same amount of time to go to that big chest, and you don't get a crystal for doing that. So he may end up saving a little bit of time.
Absolutely. We see Jetter's going with his Samaria strats against Blind, even though he has the sword right at this moment. So it's an interesting strategy to use here, and he's just laying down the blocks. Some people use the beams in order to hit off the Blind. And the one problem that you don't want to get Blind off his normal setting is because sometimes the fight can get really annoying otherwise, but Jetter's finishes it off. Koi's about to get his Titan's Mitt, and Frostbite's about to do Lamos. How good is your Lamos, Uppy?
Oh, terrible, I would say.
Yeah, mine are awful as well. Frostbite's going to show at least probably how to do it, but we'll see. I mean, Lamos can do what Lamos do best and not be where you want them to be.
With this fire rod, if he's quick, he should be able to do it. Yeah. Nice. Very nice.
Beautiful. There was the nice swing at the end.
The spin to finish off, yeah. Totally aware of his surroundings, understanding where his magic was. That was, yeah, a little subtle thing there.
That's because if you swing the sword around, it does the same as one fire rod shot onto the Lambo. So that's a beautiful fight for Frostbite. Does get the second item with the 10 arrows, so he is completely done.
Yeah, smart play. And now he's going to head back in because he did not forget Checkerboard Cave.
The Igor getting in the way of Zero Rush made him have to spend an extra fire rod shot, so he's going to have one fewer shots ready to go. And you see he's got his sword out, so he's going to try to do the spins here to at least set this up at the start, but he's going to have to do a multiple cycle.
Oh man, so close.
There's the bow. So now, here's the thing. Frostbite's going to go up the mountain. Frostbite's going up the mountain.
Oh, for sure. You need to know if you need the medallion. He's potentially in go mode now.
Yeah, if he floos to 1, he's checking this for the medallion and only the medallion. Because he now could be in go mode. Oh, never mind. He's going to finish off the Eastern Palace first.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Because who knows? You might get the medallion, right? Why waste the time checking when you could have? Kind of the same mentality that went into beating Lambos.
Because we got 2 items out. We got 2 items out of Eastern, right?
Oh, I think.
You're making me try to think of 2, and I didn't have it written down. There's the bow pickup for Zero Rush. So when Zero Rush goes into Misery Mire in just a moment, guess what?
Yeah, he's going to have a little easier time on Vitreous.
Vitreous is going to be a much easier fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Frostbite's Vitreous was not a bad fight whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, no. Considering the kid, I mean, A+, but... I mean, when you've got silver arrows, things just tend to evaporate.
Frostbite using the beam swords for one of its good uses, taking care of those Staffos in a position where you don't have to lift up any of the pots, get them attacking a little bit really, really fast. So I would be totally surprised if Frostbite does anything else but go up to Turtle Rock at this point. He may go to Skullwoods and finish that off. That's not going to take too long for him to finish off at this point, in honesty.
Oh, yeah.
So he may do that, then go up to Turtle Rock to see if he's in go mode. Because there's one more item left in Skullwoods. You know it's going to be in that one of the 2 remaining spots. You might get it at Mothula.
Yeah, and again, economizing movement. You want to have your last dungeon be Turtle Rock when you can, just because then you just boots yourself over to the tower and get cracking on that.
And also because, you know, I'm kind of figuring this out at myself. These are on the route. You may get an extra medallion. You may not. Yep. Who knows? But you're getting what exactly you need, and you're not going out of your way to get it. 20 rupees off the Armos Knights. There's another of the crystals for Frostbite. So he's going to float to 3, go into Skullwoods, finish that off next.
Yeah, most likely. And yeah, all things considered, you know, it was the Aga Seed, we had the goofiness that we're about to see on Koi's stream with the placement of the Ice Rod right next to the Fire Rod. Like, that's actually super nice, because you're already going west side.
And the nice thing about getting the Ice Rod there is that, you know how some seeds can turn out to be the great search for Ice Rod that sends you into 1,000 different locations? You don't have that this seed. So Frostbite will be heading over to Mothula, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mothula does not drop the second item that Frostbite checks the chest downstairs. I don't know if we're getting a pedestal check at this point, because it's right now a 33% chance that Frostbite can get into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, trying to think what else is left. Would you be able to pretty sharply deduce that it's gonna be green pendant or ped or something? But I don't know, I think you make the check so that you if it ends up being medallion, you go mode Ice Palace instead, because otherwise, well, I mean, if you think it's an Ice Palace, you clear the whole thing including Ice Tea.
Koi's seen the bow, so he's going to be popping right back in. That was in and out. That was reflexes at that point. And it looks like Jetters is going to be finishing off this dungeon. Koi did the smart thing, or the smart gamble that we know of, and is just left the dungeon.
Yeah, it turned out
the fire
nothing
rod.
Else for Swamp, as long as we don't need the pedestal. Zero Rush heading into his Vidi fight as Frostbite begins against the Moth.
Zero Rush, you have swords. The bow and silvers!
I'll tell you what.
You have it right there. There we go. Oh yeah, that was nice. Okay,
Beautiful.
he did remember he was just weakening them with the sword swing. So okay, I'll give Zero Rush that. He knows his combat for certain. Oh, Frostbite's having a nasty Mothula fight. What do we have? 50 rupees. That's the second item.
Yeah.
It looks like Frostbite is dispensing his bees, and he's doing this not to add extra lag tier. He's not doing this for the lols. He's doing this because he's going to Potion Shop next.
I mean, it's good for the lulz anyway.
Well, he just squished one bug. He may as well get rid of the other bugs at this point. So, does Frostbite take the pedestal? I don't think so.
Huh?
Yeah, there's the flute.
Oh.
He's taking his chances. He's going to flute to 2.
No, he's going right up.
No, he's not. He's going right straight. Okay, I thought he was going to go and get the potions. I thought that's why he had emptied out his bottles.
That's what I had expected, yeah. Maybe that comes later. I don't know.
Well, no, because if Turtle Rock turns out to be Bombos, that's it. He's in go mode, and he's one dungeon away from getting into Ganon's Tower.
It's true.
What an insane quick seed this has turned out all of a sudden, given how the beginning of this seed turned out. Although we are getting ahead of ourselves on Politicus.
Yeah, well, just gotta wait and see. We got 3 possible medallions for that.
Chad,
what in the inventory?
What do you think is going to be the medallion required to get into Turtle Rock? I want to see some answers. Get them into chat. Is it Bombos? Is it Ether? Is it Quake?
Nope.
Epilepticus survey says.
Huh? Ether. Let's see. Called it. All right. I mean, 1 in 3 really isn't
So at 1 hour 11 minutes. So at 1 hour 11 minutes and 18 seconds, Frostbite's the first of these runners to not be in go mode.
Woo!
Oh wait, none of them are.
Yeah, but he's like definitely not. At least he knows what he needs.
Oh, tackled from behind right there from the jelly, and the jelly gives his reward. There's the fireball shield for Frostbite. There is the piece of heart.
I don't know.
There's the piece of heart.
And there it is.
There's the ether! Right. So at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 58 seconds, the Frostbite is now officially in.
Is that go mode? I think it's go mode.
I think you might be correct, son. I think Frostbite is about to get chilled with a go mode.
Yeah, not totally surprising that he found that ether medallion fairly quickly. 6 items available right next to the front. Oh no! What are you doing, buddy?
He forgot to open the door! Frostbite, you have to open the door!
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do?
Take 3!
Yeah, Frostbite, Postman confirmed. Always rings twice.
A little bit of jitters right there from Frostbite, but we'll mark that down as things to ask him about when we get to the post-race interview. But just to blitz through here, and this is going to be a sub 130 for Frostbite if the big key turns out to be in an easy location in Ganon's Tower. In fact, I think even if Ganon's Tower was Tower Room at this point, this would be a sub 130.
It just might. Oh man, he's got he's a little bit double taken right now. Take it easy, you're absolutely killing the seed right now. So, nice early big key here. We'll see none of Laser Bridge if we're lucky.
Zero Rush is heading up to Mothula coming up in just a second. We'll probably be making the same exact plays that we just saw from Frostbite heading up to the mountain in just a moment. That is, oh, that was a beautiful fight. Only one spike moved.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets. Really great poke dash on that.
Koi is here inside of Misery Mire. Still got some work to do at this point. Has to finish off this dungeon, but I think as far as these runners are concerned, if you're wanting to get a ranking right now, Frostbite's first, Zero Rush is second, Koi is third. And the reason why Koi's ahead of HC Jetters is because of the play that he made in Mid Swamp, leaving there after getting the Fire Rod.
Yeah, because all things considered, they both went for slightly slower rupee farming strats, which ends up kind of being the difference for Zero being ahead of Koi then, on top of some just great execution when it comes to the dungeons now.
A little bit of trouble there with Frostbite at the Chain Chomp rooms. Gets through without too much hassle from the Chain Chomps themselves. Is about to make himself over towards the key, get that, and hope that he gets one more key, and Koi has spooky action going for him. Or no, he doesn't. He tried it, but he didn't have it.
And we see Frostbite going to take the key from the Pokey. Not going to open the door because, at best, he's getting another key.
And at worst, he's getting a single rupee at that point.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it whatsoever. A couple of sword swings takes care of the Pokies, and Frostbite is gambling that he's not going to need that big key chest, or the big chest rather, for a key. So we'll see if this pays off for him. Coming up in just a moment, he may actually have to do Laser Bridge after all.
Yeah, but I tell you what, he's been one to seize every opportunity he can so far this seed.
He gets it! Oh, that's beautiful. It pays off. He skips the big chest and gets rewarded with the key out of that chest inside of Turtle Rock. So now he can just go right straight to Trinex.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Here he is, just going through the platform tracks now.
He's got out the powder.
Down.
He's got the powder all set and ready to go because he's going to powder an anti-fairy coming up in the next to last room. And all that so he can potentially take care of this Trinex here without having to worry about his health. There we go. That is now filled up. Zero rushes in go mode now after picking up his ether out of Hookshot Cave. Koi heading into Skullwood. Still has to finish off Eastern. Probably will do that after Skullwoods. And Jetters currently is in the Mire first room here, using the sword beams to pretty good efficient use here. And there we go. That's beautiful, actually.
Frostbite with the menu. Keep this fight quick. Beautiful. And we're into phase 2. Good stuff.
He probably wished he had skipped another of the Trinex thrusts right there, but he ended up thinking he had timed that fifth and final swing on the ice rod. He thought he was a little too late because of how long it took for his first swing. But there's Trinex down. So, Epipoliticus.
Which number you normally pick, Rick?
Well, I was going to say, we are about to go into Ganon's Tower, and we like to do a little something here on Speed Gaming in regarding to people throwing out certain numbers in the chat. So there's 22 possibilities where Ganon's Tower Big Key can be. Pick a number, 1 through 22, and tell us where you believe the big key's going to be. And I'm seeing a lot of numbers, 7s and 14s, 12s and 18s, 16s and 17s. I don't see a lot of 20s out there, which is nice. So these people in chat are playing nice here. And I'm going to play nice too, and I'm going to say number 5. What about you, Epilepticus?
Let's put it on the torch. Put those boots to use again. Well, actually, I think it'd be the first boots required item. But yeah. So I guess that's number 3 on the usual route.
Well, it's going to be number 1 this time around because Frostbite's checking the torch first. And it's a small key.
All right. He's going maybe full left, full dark. I don't know. But Zero Rush.
Oh,
I think
Zero
realized
Rush.
after the fact that he didn't do that. Yeah. And so he's going to spend a bit more time here in Turtle Rock. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate oops right there. He may have forgotten he got the big key out of chest number 1. Gets only 10 arrows for his efforts right there. So chest 3 turns out to be 20 rupees, 300 rupees. Add another small key. He's doing Dark Magician route.
Well, he's had the answers today.
Does Hope Room have the big key? There's a small right there and a piece of heart. So that right there is number 6 and 7. He's not going to do Tile Room next. Oh, there's just a map. So we are going to see Laser Bridge from Zero Rush.
Oh, map on the big chest. That's too bad.
Frostbite using a little bit of magic. Well, he was using magic conservation, and then it didn't quite work out for him. So now he's going to switch over to the Cane of Samaria, try to get this crystal switch done. Try to get these Gibdos out of his way so he can throw that block and see what's in chest number 8. What do we got, Leviticus?
Looks like we got some bombs. More bombs. A bomb dropped. And a map. Now you can find your way around this place. Alright, so we got, what, like 6 more? Probably a few more than 6. I have a feeling we're going to end up behind Armos again.
Yeah, probably would be, which would be, in that case, Frostbite should have just gone right straight to the Armos. We'll find out in just a moment. Next check is going to be number 12.
Oh. Zero getting a little interference from the Pokey as he tries to throw Pop towards the switch. But he's about to get into his Trinex fight. Meanwhile, on the right side of your screen, you'll see 2 runners in Eastern Palace, one in the front, one in the back.
By the way, we're getting a confirmation from chat that Zero Rush found the Quake. It was on the Laser Bridge.
Oh, hey.
So nothing on the pedestal could send people in a direction that makes them wonder if the pedestal is going to be required.
Yeah, how about that?
Mirror Shield, just what you want to see covering your beautiful face at this point in time. Zero Rush finishes off with Trinex, done with Turtle Rock as Frostbite continues the path through Ganon's Tower. Koi done with Eastern, about to head on over towards the Turtle Rock area. Hopefully, and I say hopefully in the sense that it might not be there. It is going to either be at Bob's chest, the Armos, or Tile Room.
That would just be the icing on this seed.
And Koi is making their way up towards the Turtle Rock area. We'll see how they play this next section out. So, wait,
the unique item. Yeah.
And there it is, the big key inside Bob's chest. So if we're doing some number crunching at this point, and don't mind me if I'm thinking about it for just a second here, that would be 21, 21, 22, 21, 20, 19. So that would be chest number 18 that we ended up getting. 18. Yeah. So if you picked chest number 18 for the location of the big key, congratulations. Frostbite rigged it just for you.
Silver Arrows coming in huge here on the Mimics. Gets his free key dash. We are on the climb.
So the unfortunate thing about Frostbite's routing here through GT is that probably takes him out of consideration for sub 130. Will somebody get the sub 130 in the race? We'll find out, because obviously these are just 4 runners in a bigger race filled with a whole bunch of people, part of our speed gaming daily races. We do them every day, 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. on the days that we do not have an SG Live qualifier. That's Monday through Friday, that is. Plus also the weekly, that is 5:30, and whether or not we broadcast that is also up to whether or not we're doing an SG Live qualifier. By the way, have you been checking out that SG Live qualifier series?
I've been keeping up with the standings, and it's looking pretty spicy.
Yeah, we got a lot of great runners in contention there, hoping to play for up to $3,000 in cash prizes at SG Live in Herndon, Virginia, the final weekend of October. And I hope you guys can join us here on Speed Gaming or in person in Virginia for the great event. As Frostbite gets ready, 1 arrow, 2 arrows, and...
Oh, and just getting trolled by Fireball.
The 1 cycle.
Yeah. Feels bad, but it's all good. Gets it real easy on the next one. Grab your canes. It was road time.
Yay.
Rick's a Zelda 1 runner. He's allowed to do that.
Yay.
Oh.
Rough room here. I don't know if nerves are starting to get to Frostbite at this stage in the run here. Finally tackles the final of the Wiz ropes here, and he moves on to the next room. Just a quick plug, by the way. Speaking of Zelda 1 Randomizer has a brand new tournament coming up, and the first of their qualifiers or seeding races are going to be this Sunday. So new Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament coming up, so be on the lookout for that. Going to be a lot of fun. I know I will be playing in it, so you'll probably see me around here and there. But enough about me, back to these runners. Frostbite gunning up to the tower, up to the 6th floor. I know Frostbite probably wishes that this climb up the tower was going a whole lot better, because this has been a really rough, had the rough couple of rooms inside the gauntlet. Really wished he had a better Lammo fight, that 1 cycle as opposed to 2 cycle, and the better second Wizrobe room. And those are things that you start to think about as a runner if you're really trying to get up to a higher tier of a level. You tend to take a look at things. But he does redeem it with a beautiful Moldorm, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think, he's going into the textbook part of the end of a seed. Not that, kind of the whole thing is, but pretty much all he's got to do is play some tennis and fight a pig. So he'll be able to just get out those execution chops. He's got the temperance sword. He's got the silver arrows. He'll be able to lock this thing up tight.
And I think this game is more baseball than it is tennis. Tennis is Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, and actually, if we consider Link Between Worlds, then yeah, we'll go with baseball.
There's a couple of frustrated sword slashes at that point. And there's the final swings onto Aghanim. So with 1:30 remaining, Frostbite, if he can get single cycle, stage 1 and 2, Ganon might still have a chance for that sub 130.
It's going to be tight.
Gonna be very tight. So this is either 129 or 130 coming up here for Frostbite. Koi making their way through Turtle Rock and Zero Rush. He is going through the gauntlet right now as we speak. Gonna have to watch out his... Oh, never mind. There's a magic drop right there.
If he can make it. He's gonna run past it. You're crazy.
He doesn't need it at this point. He's got enough to take care of the Wizrobes.
Yeah.
1 fight, 2 and 3 gets a 1 cycle. Beautiful.
Yeah, just barely sneaks out of the way of that fireball. Hey, gonna grab a little bit of magic here and should be pretty okay for the 2 Wizard rooms.
Yeah, you see Frostbite's going to be using the cape strats here to help himself out.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
Ganon
kept that,
Warps could also...
potion, I think, the entire game, so...
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to be all that worried about it. Doesn't really need to use a whole lot of magic when he's got the silver arrows in hand. Ganon's Warps might be taken away from a sub 130. Yeah, Ganon Warps is going to take him away from a sub 130.
Yeah.
It's pretty much in the bag now. He's going to get a 130 XX. There's the third, and Ganon, please stop warping. There we go. So now there's the fourth stage. You get the silver arrows in the Tower of Hera. Oh, absolutely. Here's 2 of them. There we go. And here's 2 more. And Frostbite's going to be the first of our on-stream runners to finish this race. But did he win the daily race? We'll find out when he pops through those doors.
Fantastic fight. Great run.
And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that Frostbite finishes in first place overall with a 130.24. So get your GGs into chat and say B-Torp was here as Frostbite 3030 wins this race.
Yeah, absolutely great run. A lot of clever routing, good execution.
So in the pregame, you and I were talking, and you did mention that we probably were going to have the restream winner. Or the restream winner be the one who wins the race. Well, we did.
Yeah, and I'll say publicly, I thought it was going to be Zero Rush, but as far as I know, I actually don't have SRO open. Bad comm. He could still be in the running for it, so we'll see. Might end up with the top 2, but great runs from both runners, and just a super enjoyable seed to boot. We'll see what the runners thought of it when they get in.
Yeah, so how did you feel back in the commentary chair as we see Zero Rush facing off against Saga 2? How did you feel back in the commentary chair?
Oh, it's riding a bike. Just a ton of fun to be able to see a lot of great runs.
You just gotta watch out for those road bumps.
Yeah. Alright, so we got Zero Rush heading into Gano Fighto. Meanwhile, Turtle Rock happening on the right side of your screen. I think the gap between Koi and Jetters is about the same, and it looks like, based on what I just saw Koi doing, he either had a bad time, died somewhere, or... Oh, never mind. We've got Frostbite with us. GG. Congrats on first place.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, that was quite a run.
That, honestly, I went into this race because I was on Restream. I was like, I'm going to make some insane plays and see what happens. And, like, the only thing I think I kind of regret was full clearing Swamp. But at that point, I figured I was so far ahead that I wasn't going to risk skipping out on the back. But, oh, man, it went, honestly. The only thing I regret is because obviously the mics are muted because we're on Restream, that you couldn't see my reaction when I found the ice rod and not the fire rod first on the left side of the
Oh, yeah.
Goodness. That was insane.
Yeah, of all the places.
I do want to point out, you want to know what really was the big difference between you and any of the other runners that we had on stream?
Was it Aga first or what?
No, you didn't have to farm rupees to get into the Palace of Darkness. Everybody else on stream, we had 3 people farming for rupees outside of the Palace of Darkness. You did not.
Yeah. I figured once I made that, like, I was thinking Aga from the second I found the cape. And once I found the lamp, I figured I'm going to go clear out what is lamp locked as a hedge and then just go right to Aga after I finish at the castle. And I specifically did that to avoid running into that, you know, I'm going to go spend Zora. And that's kind of like why I YOLO'd the water checks immediately as well, because I had like that weird number, like 200, where it's like, sure, I can Houlihan and grind rupees, but I'm not going to do that because that's not the type of player I am.
I'm just going to interrupt you here by saying that Zero Rush has finished off with his Ganon fight, and he has crossed through the door and will finish in second place officially in 133.34. Goomba 90, who was not on the restream, was just behind him, 7 seconds behind Fanfare Snipe with a 133.41. So GG to those runners. So yeah, the money situation, and it's insane watching 3 runners just trying to do whatever they could to get the 110 rupees they needed for Kiki, and that really was a huge difference at that point. There was only one of the 4 that we saw on stream who noped out after getting the fire rod. That was Koi, and that's the reason why they currently have an advantage over Jetters as Koi gets ready to head into Ganon's tower. So what were your thoughts overall? Because obviously you could see the IRC. And you're pretty much full clearing the basement of Ganon's tower, trying to get to that big key. What's your thoughts as you're going through Random Room? It's not here. It's going to be behind the Armos. It's going to be a Tile Room, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't too worried. I was playing so poorly that I had already mentally convinced myself that I was throwing away first place, because I bet I lost 4 minutes in the last 20 minutes in bad execution, like, between, just jumping off the ledge before Turtle Rock like a huge derp head, and like, all these bonks. I mean, a bunch of them were on purpose because I was frustrated, but like, I honestly, like, it's a shame that I didn't sub 130 this, because I feel like if I was playing well, I routed like a 126 on this thing, and just choked away a bunch of different little mistakes. So that's why I was
said there was a lot of good execution and some like very clever gambles for like the TR key. I really like your spin Viddy.
By the way, we do have Zero Rush in here, but there's one last thing I do want to ask you before we turn over to Zero Rush. And that was at the 113 mark here, where you're about ready to go into Turtle Rock, but oh wait, that's right, I do have to use an ether first.
Yeah, that was funny. It was funny that Ether was where it was. It was funny that Bombos was where it was. It was funny that I think I went through the Turtle Rock portal a total of 3 times in 2 minutes. I'll be honest with you, I hurt my neck yesterday, so I'm kind of rocked out on painkillers too. So like, I was having some fun out there. I honestly, I wasn't surprised that I finished first, because I took some crazy, like, I routed it very, very efficiently, just out of luck, and my execution was poor, but yeah, I'm super happy. It went really well, and awesome. GG's to Zero Rush. Sorry you ran into an absolute maniac out there tonight.
And GG Zero. Congrats on second place.
Yeah.
Hey,
well run.
Yeah, that's
I think one of the differences for you, we were talking with Frost, he didn't have to farm for pod, so that gave him a big leg up on you, unfortunately. One of the things that put you ahead, at least of the runners on stream, was you remembered the statue pool. That was huge. You were right there ready to get right over to pod and just get back on that horse, so kudos for that.
Yeah, I remembered it after trying to check the Light World one, so I didn't fully remember, but I did know it was there.
Yeah.
So, could have been much worse.
I just want to also interrupt by mentioning that Koi is going up to the tower. However, there's just something that's just a little off-center that has a 0 next to it, and let's hope that he finds a key on his way up the tower.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a big gamble.
Yeah, I don't know if there is one up there. I didn't open any chests up there.
Yeah, we didn't see anything from either runner here that was on screen here. So, yeah, that was an interesting seed, and Aga required to get into the Palace of Darkness, to get to the hammer, to get to the boots, to get to the hook or get to the powder, to get to the hook shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why she swallowed the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting one. Not a whole lot I think I did wrong that seed, other than Turtle Rock or Pod. Sorry.
Oh,
Turtle Rock.
Let's talk
I got
about
the lava. I got the lava chest just out of muscle memory. And which,
I was gonna say. I was
had
gonna ask
a very telling pause that kind of let everyone know, like, oh, right.
Yeah.
You knew better, but it happens. Like you said, muscle memory. You'll almost always end up getting it. So yeah.
Yeah. And there wasn't a key in the big chest either, so like I wouldn't have skipped the big chest, but anyone like if I don't know if Frostbite did or not, but
Frostbite did.
Yeah, he gambled the pants off of that.
Yeah,
well, it's like a 95% success rate or something like that. So you're not gonna have the big key in the lava chest and the big chest. But it's good to check the big chest sometimes because it hedges against like a key in the third or fourth chest on Laser Bridge. So it's just two legit schools of thought, really.
Yeah.
Well, at least Zero Rush let us know where the Quake was.
Yeah, my GT routing was unfortunate too. Is if I had done full right or not done right at all, I could have saved like a minute or so there.
Oh, you did the same thing I did then?
Maybe. Yeah, I went right side.
Left, right.
I went right, then left. Right to compass room, and then left to Bob's chest. But I mean, that's not too bad. I think the Turtle Rock thing definitely cost me quite a bit. Like 30.
Yeah, it cost you a little bit of time, but it was not a deal breaker here. I mean, that was going to be a case where you were going to be finishing second to Frostbite at that point. You didn't swap positions. Just quick update upstream. Artie Walsh finished fourth, 137.11, just a second behind Lin Lin. In fifth place, 137.12. Cassidy Mullen in sixth place, 138.27. And our latest finisher was Guitar Girl TS9, seventh place, 139.06. Here comes the moment of truth for Koi. Get the bell out!
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. I've seen someone lose a tournament match to that before. It's always super sad.
Oh, the saltiest.
I remember my second
You would rather
match.
Despawn the tower. Like
I remember my second match in the tournament against Andy in the last tournament that I played in the best of 3 against him. Going up the tower, 0 keys, and whoops.
It'll happen.
I'm more of a like going up the tower with 1 key, forget to kill the Helmosaur, run into the key door, have that split-second moment of absolute panic, and then you realize what you've done.
Oh gosh, yeah, that could go the other way real quick too. If you're...
By the way, this is going to be really interesting for Koi and Jetters because they're still doing this on Master Sword. We never saw what the Butter Sword turned out to be for either Frostbite or Zero Rush.
Yeah, I guess these guys both went back to EP and didn't go to Big Key Room.
They played in Go Mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, skipping Eastern this seed is...
Yeah.
That's a gamble. I mean, the opportunity was there to do early Aga with Cape, I guess, but... I don't know.
I went to Eastern as well.
Yeah.
I skipped a bunch of things, though. I mean, I never checked Ice Rod Cave or Akina or Zora or a bunch of other things, but I figured there was 5 guaranteed items in Logic with the lamp. I didn't want to... It was likely that one of the items I needed for Dark World access was going to be there, and of course the Moon Pearl was, I think, in Saha's closet, if I can remember correctly, that long ago. And I just decided I was going in Eastern at that point in time.
Yeah. I guess if it was like the last thing they did, you still needed 2 items for Dark World access regularly, so it's unlikely that EP had both of them.
Yeah, but it's likely, and EP could have had one of them, but then you're not really losing much time because if it has done, you're gaining time. I could see it, but I guess if you end up there in Go Mode as well too, and because of the weird pod situation, I'm not sure if you went into the back Zero Rush at all, but like
I did.
I didn't have any access to the back when I got there. And because I was basically kind of looking for the bow for a long part, and that was another thing I found, and I was like, are you kidding me? This is right here. This seat is, everything is falling into my lap. I decided, like, there's no way I'm going into pod, and I'm hoping that it's just not there. Yeah. Anything I need. Because I was really worried about medallions.
The Fire Rod hint was big. And then the Meyer hint was just really helpful. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice swamp rods. That's always good.
That was so funny.
How much did you laugh when you saw the ice rod instead of the fire rod in that first chest?
I was really confused. I thought maybe I misread the hint. But lo and behold.
Honestly, Rick, like 45 seconds straight. Like that's probably what it was. Like a maniac too. Like not chuckling. Like absolutely full on. Crying, laughing like a maniac.
and then you go to Meyer's Shed and you find a B-Torp next to a B-Torp.
That was very good as well. And then I decided I was going to free them.
So, by the way, I just want to ask this as another question here for Frostbite. What made you skip out on Spiral Cave?
I just don't like... So I've tried, like... To be honest, taking it back a step, my execution is decent, but I know when I'm playing someone like Zero or Goomba or some of these really top-tier people, I gotta take chances to have any hope. So when I get in a scenario like this with hookshot, no hammer, or hookshot, hammer, I'm gonna skip Spiral Cave and check check, what's the other one on the other called? Spectacle Rock Cave. Yeah, I'm going to check that one and leave Spiral Cave. Basically hoping that if there is something in Spiral Cave, it's not the mitts, and I'm able to check it if I need to when I go back to check Dark Death Mountain. But basically, if I hadn't have had the hammer, I would have checked Spiral Cave, but because I had the hammer, and I'm never going up to check Spectacle Rock Cave just by itself unless I have the mirror or it's my last location. So I was going to check that afterwards, basically. That's just sort of how I choose to route it. I don't like checking them all. I like to take chances and leave things in my wake, too. So it makes it a little more nerve-wracking as you're going on later in the game looking for the bow and the ice rod and whatnot.
So, you know what you missed?
Sorry, I was going to say...
By the way, just want to finish off here. Koi finished off his Master Sword Ganon fight.
Yeah, GG's
so he comes through. Just before we get his time here, let's go over the other people who have finished. Days Cloud was 8th place, 141.11. Keisei was 142.09 in 9th place. Sarcasm Pyro was the last of the top 10 and 142.15. Files, 11th place, 144. The Demolisher was 144.32, and Koi was 13th place, 145.25. So, Frostbite, do you know what was in Spiral Cave?
No, obviously.
Mail upgrade.
Of course. You know what else I don't know? What was in the back of Blindside? Because I never actually checked that either.
Heart piece.
Shoutouts to my boy Megawatt.
So we have Koi in here joining us. GG's.
GG play.
No, GG. It's not GG. Okay, you gotta actually play a good game to get a GG. Those are the rules.
You played a lucky game by going up the tower with 0 keys.
Yeah,
how about that?
I did not realize I wasn't paying that close attention. Like I went full.
It could have went either way.
I went full right for the heck of it, and when I got the big key, I'm like, oh, hey, cool. At least I got to the big key faster than everybody else. But I forgot about the small keys.
Yeah. One other thing that you did, you were the only runner on the restream
to not get Which is it?
You were the only runner, by the way, that noped out of Swamp Palace after getting the fire rod on the left wing there. You're the only one who did, so everyone else completed it. You were wondering about Tempered Sword.
Yeah, I think somebody in chat told me it was Eastern Palace.
Eastern big key chest.
Yeah, so everybody else had a better sword than me, like the entire game because of that. So I lost a ton of time just by virtue of not having as much offense.
Yeah, well, Jedders is in Aga 2 now, so he also made that decision.
Well, I didn't make the decision to do that. I was planning to go there. I just died. I was, because like early in the game, it's like, oh great, early flippers, rupees, hello, stop giving me heart pieces. And, so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna get the rupees in the rupee room in Eastern Palace, and this is a play that I make like once every 100 seeds. So apparently, I'm not as familiar with the layout in the dark, and I lost like all my hearts like just getting to the rupee room.
Ooh, yeah.
And once you die in that position, like you can't go back to that chest, like ever. Ever. And unfortunately, it was something that would have been super duper helpful. But that death plus Zora ending up having nothing after I finally do get enough rupees made me think I was just so far behind that when I found out the fire rods in Swamp, I'm like, okay, well, not going to Swamp. So I did all the the little out of the way things. I went up to Spike Cave. I did Graveyard Ledge. You know, everything I could think of that everybody else would put off for like the rest of the game, and none of it paid off.
Man, just an unfortunate turn on the rando.
Yeah. So one other thing is that you, Jetters, and Zero Rush had to spend a good amount of time trying to grind rupees to get the money for Kiki, which obviously led to Frostbite just gaining time on everybody at that point because he never went to Zora. But yeah, that was a tough one here. You opted to go do the blind hut room as opposed to what Jetters was doing, was digging up about 8,000 holes.
Yeah, no, digging is not ideal. Like if you need like 20 rupees, maybe like digging wouldn't be that bad. But I needed 70, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
The other option would to do tree poles, but when you kill Aga, it changes which trees are the tree pole trees, and I don't have those memorized.
Yeah, that's the Dark World ones are the same.
Yeah, the one that we saw from Zero Rush was there was one of the statues next to the pyramid. And Jetters takes the death.
Does he have fairies?
Yeah, I know.
No. Oh, that's a shame. He's gonna go down and grab one, it looks like. But yeah, that early decision with which way you ended up routing, basically if you ended up with Pearl or Flippers, getting around to your lamp seemed to be the first of a couple of different turning points in the seed, and it was really fascinating to see how everybody kind of worked with the route they chose.
Yeah, I should have just orphaned Zora.
Yeah, same.
Like at the end of the day, like that, like looking back on it, it's like, well, even if Zora had progression, right? Say Zora had the hammer or something, like it's not the end of the world if I orphan at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
you can get back to it so much faster later. I should not have farmed rupees for Zora. That was wrong.
I think the other thing that, in retrospect, too, kind of stretched the seed out a bit was the relatively late gloves. You had your Moon Pearl, Dark World access, and Hammer, and then you got both gloves in pretty quick succession. It was just like, oh, alright, now I have everything. So it wasn't like you were going to go up to Catfish or anything either.
Yeah.
Which I did.
Well, I mean, eventually you did, yeah. I mean, but normally, like, with your into Aga, maybe you got the glove, and you scoot up there, but yeah.
I normally orphan Zora when I play in situations like this, but we had the flute, so I was like, well, eventually I'll have enough money, I can just go back, and then it suddenly became one of the only options left.
Now, how about the seed decided to give you all the money after... after you finally was able to get past the Palace of Darkness check?
It's even worse than that too, because one, it gave you flippers really early, so by the time you realized Zora might be a check, you could no longer fake flipper to Houlihan.
Yeah.
And it gave you just enough that farming a little bit more money suddenly became a good idea.
Right, like, yeah, just kind of tempting you and teasing you, like...
Yeah, I didn't need that much money to get to Zora. What, like 100 rupees, I think, is what I ended up needing?
Yeah, I got mine in Eastern Rupee Room.
Yeah, I did the Eastern Rupee Room, and then I ended up having to do one tree pole with the blue rupees, and that was enough for Zora. But not enough for Pod, too!
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I always, when I'm in an Aga scenario, I don't consider Zora to be 500, I consider Zora to be 610. Because I'm not spending my pod money, if pod is my only option once I clear Aga. And it's only because I've been caught by that before, if you know what I mean. And so it's one of those things I'm conscious of.
Hey, sneaking around those bats.
Yeah, that was scary right there. Yeah. That was a whole lot of scariness here for Jetters. Yeah. 1 heart remaining as we get into stage 3. Now, thankfully, if we can get to stage 4, we got the silver arrows to deal with that, but he needs to get to stage 4 first.
Yeah. But Frostbite, you bring up the excellent point, though. If you don't have, like, if you have glove and hook, then it's fine. You can go some other places when you're in Dark World.
Well,
but
even
if you have to go pod, then it's just, well...
yeah, and even it's because this game is so insanely intricate. It's different if you have the hammer, too, because if you have the hammer, you can just run down when you're checking Hype Cave and hit up the arrow game for, a quick 300 rupees very easily as well. So it's very nuanced with the sort of money.
Oh, no. That's number 2 for Jetters. That's rough.
Batted.
Yeah, just not quite in there quick enough.
it was just a very uncomfortable seed. Like typically I play like very safely.
Yeah.
You know, just like doing little things that are like a little bit out of the way because they're going to be more out of the way later. And you know, usually that doesn't hurt me too much. Like I lose like a few placements from doing stuff like that, but I still like finish pretty well. But in this seed, those out of the way spots were just so out of the way, and I did them anyway, and I really shouldn't have.
Well, I mean, on just any other different seed, it could have just went the complete other way, right? Like those could have paid off huge, and
that's what I'm saying though. Is like if Zora was required, if Zora did have progression. Like, worst case scenario, you just get bottlenecked a little bit later in the seed and then just go to Zora real quick. And like it probably would like it would have been a wash versus like farming the rupees early. So in retrospect, like farming the rupees was just silly because like it was an Aga seed. There was no doubt in my mind that Aga was going to be required. I was just hoping it was like hook shot on the pyramid or something, and I wouldn't have to go into pod.
Now, curious question for you. If you had made it to the Master Sword, would that have affected your the rest of your route for that?
No.
No, you still went up to Zora?
I would have gotten to Aga sooner, I guess. Like Fighter Sword kind of sucks.
Yeah, I was just wondering if that Master Sword would have pulled you away from Zora in that case.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, which I guess with Flute, you're really only kind of saving walking time at that point, but yeah. All right, so round 3 for Jetters. We're all hoping he pulls through.
Meanwhile, the thunder begins to roll here, so if I all of a sudden go quiet, you'll know why. Come on, Jetters, you can do this. Come on, everyone, channel your energy and tell Jetters he can do this. He's got this.
Yep, full stock of potions now. Ready to use that hook shot to get some iframes out from the bats. Takes a couple of hits, but able to avoid a few more.
You know, Buttersword probably turned out to be an ice spot or an ice palace. Gonna go to the cape. That's a good decision here. Hopefully he just doesn't. Oh, he's grabbing the wall. Good decision. Good decision.
Oh no!
Oh, but he runs out and he turns it off. Oh. Whoops.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, what timing?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like Koi is gone. GG again. And GG0, who I think is heading out as well. Great runs.
Now, good games, everyone. Thanks
yeah. Thank you guys for being on the restream and GG's
Either
to
you guys
all
in
of
the
you.
qualifiers for the good people on the viewer side.
I'm not, only because I can't go to the tournament, so I'm not gonna take part in the qualifiers.
That's fair.
I'm not in the qualifiers either. I have a wedding to go to that Sunday, so I can't.
Yeah,
I don't want to enter and like accidentally make it to finals and then have to drop.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, 0 cost for finals, both no show. It's a scandal.
First of all, there's no chance in heck I'd make it, but heaven forbid I'd go into like Will Ferrell and Old School and God wrote a couple of these seats on accident. I don't want to have to drop out.
Yeah. So I'll be there that Saturday though. I don't live very far, so I'm gonna come down for a day. But since I already bought tickets and everything, but I won't be.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, see you then.
Hopefully you'll have some fun in Virginia.
Yeah, for sure. All right, have a good night, everyone.
Yep. See you.
Good night, everyone. Thanks, Ray.
Yeah, be sure to follow both of these runners here. We have Frostbite 3030, Zero Rush, and Koi. As Jetters tries to finish off with this fight. Come on, he can do this.
The other of our trackers beating me in chat to the runner's command, which has not been updated. Oh no.
Yeah.
You can follow those people too. I'm sure they're great.
Yeah, you can definitely follow them. Oh, don't get hit with the bat, please. Thank you very much. Come on, let's do this. Get another arrow. One and only got one.
At least he's well stocked in that department.
Yeah, thankfully he did not take a tumble down. He can do a lamp shot if he really wanted to, but he did not. And, well, there's the next go-around is... come on, we got this. Do not fall down. Please don't fall down. There we go. And Jetters. One more hit. Oh, that worried me. Come on, go upwards. There we go.
There we go. He's going to get sub 2. Well, looks like Koi is starting up another one.
Oh, Bond.
Maybe he's going for these.
Nah, we don't have
overtime.
We don't have time to do this. Let's get Jetters in here so we can discuss the Mimic clip, because that was the thing that we saw from Jetters that was unique of anybody else, as Jetters finishes 19th place, 157.36. GG to HXC Jetters.
And while we're waiting on getting him in here, I want to thank again our 2 trackers, A Wild Hannah Appears and White Wolfos, for keeping everything up to date as we discovered it was an agaseed and found the rods and all the other craziness that happened.
Oh, absolutely. And special thanks to you being here with me at Athletic. It's been a whole lot of fun. So the next Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race we have is coming up tomorrow, 2 p.m. Oh, no, we don't have it coming up tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's because we have our next Link to the Past Randomizer qualifier.
Oh, boy. Yeah, those races have been a ton of fun to watch. Everybody competing to get the good seating, so they're bringing their best. And from what I understand from some of the ones I missed, the seeds have been entertaining.
Yeah, we've had quite a few interesting ones coming out of Cinex Spa. You should have taken an extra few kills on him when he played in that crowd control race last month against JC. Just saying, I mean, you didn't hurt him enough that he changed his bot around. So the next Link to the Past Randomizer SG Live qualifier is tomorrow, 3:15 p.m. Eastern. The next daily race we have here on Speed Gaming will be tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and our runners for that race will be playing in standard mode.
Excellent. Yeah, so are we getting ourselves a Jetters?
I'm checking to see if we're getting ourselves a Jetters. Also going on at this very time, we do have the Mega Man 2 randomizer going on over on Speed Gaming 1. That's where we're going to be heading after we're all done here. Very light day on tomorrow's schedule. We've got the SG Live qualifiers, Link to the Past 3:15, Zooter coming up at 8:15. We've got the daily race at 9 o'clock, and Splatoon 2 coming up 11 o'clock Eastern. Also want to plug a couple of other things we got coming up. Super Ghouls and Ghost. Their tournament finals Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Here on the Speed Gaming Networks. We'll give you the channel information coming up in just a little bit as soon as we know. Also coming up on Saturday, we have our next crowd control race, which features our staffer Clifford, the big red dog, taking on our giraffe, Herfy Durfy. That's 6 o'clock Eastern, Saturday night. Also Saturday night is going to be the finals of the Super Mario Bros. 1 Warpless Tournament. Their finals, their losers final, then the grand finals, back-to-back, is Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, going to be on Speed Gaming 2. But wait, there's more. We're also going to do a Japanese restream of the Super Mario Bros. 1 finals on Speed Gaming 3 at 8 p.m. Eastern Saturday night.
That's exciting. Reaching out to new communities.
Absolutely. There's a lot of great Japanese runners, and we've got a couple of them who have given up their Saturday or what would be Sunday morning to do commentary for it. So they'll be doing it on Speed Gaming 3. Once again, Japanese restream on Speed Gaming 3, English stream on Speed Gaming 2 on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern for Super Mario Bros. 1 Warpless Tournament Finals. Should be a lot of fun. A lot of great races in that tournament. That's about it for plugs. We got to get out of here, Apopleticus. It's been a lot of fun. Let's not keep this going much longer. Special thanks to A Wild Hannah Appears, White Wolfos, And everybody here on the Speed Gaming staff for doing this, by me for setting up this race, and to blame for the seed. That was very interesting. Jetters will not be joining us for an interview, so we won't get to talk about the Mimic clip, but let's get out of here. Yep. I'm Adirondack Rick. I'm going to let you say the final words of Athleticus. Have yourselves a fantastic evening.
Yep, and one last thank you to you, chat, for tuning in. Always a ton of fun. And check out all the stuff going on the weekend. Plenty of Zelda, plenty of Mario. You don't want to miss it. Good night, everybody.